Hi everyone, this is Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Welcome back to another tutorial from the Paint Couture creative team. Today I have a short video that will cover how I made this decorative tray using Paint Couture's pouring resin. Pouring resin can give a beautiful high sheen finish to any of your DIY projects. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this, just hang out with me for a few minutes and I'll show you. Okay, let's get started. So I thrifted this little tray because I saw the potential to give it a reboot on the design. It had previously been painted and even had some decoupaged images on here. But I gave it a really good clean with the degreaser and rinsed it with some water, and it's ready to be painted now. I'm using Paint Couture's acrylic mineral paint in the color Shale Stone. This paint is water-based and it self-levels beautifully. It already has a built-in primer and top coat, so I'm just gonna begin painting right over this existing paint on this tray. And you'll see how well it covers it. That's kind of what I wanted you to see, is the coverage here is just amazing. So now this first coat is dry, and you can see how well the coverage looks here with just one single coat. I do go back through and put a second coat, but I just wanted you to see how well it covered here with just the first coat. Okay, so now that the second coat is dry, I'm going in with a stencil. This is Ciao Bella's stencil. It's called Manuscript. And I'm using a Luxe Metallic paint from Paint Couture. I'm using antique gold. This is my favorite gold metallic paint. Paint Couture's metallic paints have intense brilliance and excellent coverage, so they're a really great option to use for stencils and adding additional decor elements in all of your projects. As you can see, I'm just adding paint from my lid to the brush, and it's almost just a dry brush stippling technique. You don't need a whole lot of paint. The Luxe Metallic paints have really great coverage and pigmentation. The Luxe Metallic paints also dry relatively quickly with just a tiny bit of heat from my blow dryer. So that's how I'm able to just lift the stencil up and place it back down in between, using the heat intermittently to dry it a little bit. And now I'm using this H2O transfer from Redesign with Prima. It's called Luminous Blooms, and it's got a really beautiful floral bouquet that I'm going to put over the script here that I used with the stencil. And these transfers are really fun to use because you just put the transfer down color side down, you pull back the plastic film, and then you put the transfer down face down, and then you'll see the black and white image on top. And then you get a sponge and a wet sponge and push it down on top of the transfer until you start to see the paper absorbing the water. And that's what releases the transfer on the other end onto your project. So it's really cool how it releases and leaves that beautiful image on the other side. Now, I'm going to be using the pouring resin in the middle of the tray, but I still want to protect the outside of the tray and the handle and everywhere else. So I'm using Paint Couture's Topcoat in Extreme Guard Satin, and I prefer to put this on before I do the pouring resin. So I'm adding that all around the outside of the tray and along the edges and the handles. So when you're ready to work with your pouring resin, just remember that you do have to stir it quite a bit. So just stir, stir, stir. Don't ever shake it, but just stir, stir, stir. And then once you're ready to pour, what I do is pour from the center and work the pouring resin out to the edges. And I just pick up my tray and I'm slowly moving it from right to left, turning the tray upside down and working it in different directions just to make sure I get that pouring resin everywhere in the tray. And I apologize, but my camera tripod broke, so I had to use a different one here on this day. So that's why you can't see a better view of that tray. So I am so sorry. So here I am using a silicone tool to spread my pouring resin out, just because I didn't like some of the placement of it. The silicone tool is very helpful if you ever need to do that. It's really easy to clean up and it's easy to move the pouring resin around. The reason I love pouring resin so much is because it dries to an amazing high gloss finish. It's a gorgeous effect over transfers, decoupage papers, and other metallic embellishments. Under normal temperature conditions, I usually wait at least 8 to 12 hours before adding additional coats, and the pouring resin will fully cure in 24 days. Here you can see this tray is now fully dried. It's a beautiful, beautiful finish. And now as a final embellishment, I'm just going to use some gold gilding wax along the edges of the tray just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And that'll be the last thing I do for the project. And here is the finished look. I think this tray definitely got the upgrade it desperately needed. That wraps it up for today's tutorial. Again, I'm Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if I've inspired you to create with any of these products, please feel free to use my affiliate link that will be located down below with a full list of all the products that I used today. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the amazing content that our Paint Couture creative team is putting together for you. Have an awesome day, everyone. Bye!